Persona 3 Reload is finally out, and it is so good. It is also the 4th version of this game. That is as much as all the versions of Persona 4 and 5 combined. You can watch the Ace Defective line play out in 3 entirely different game engines. I don't know why this is the one that's getting so many re-releases. Not the one with a funny bear, not those 2 old ones that seem to have a lot of remake potential, but the one where you shoot yourself in the head with a gun. I am completely in love with this game, and I'd gladly play another 4 re-releases, so I kinda just want to talk about it. All of them, not just the remake, everything. Because every version of this game has so many interesting little quirks about it.
More like Stupe, Ace Defective.
Here's how you know I'm completely obsessed with this game. Once I got the chance to walk around in the dormitory, first thing I did was walk all the way up to the attic and just kind of stand there. It's one of my favorite places in the original. It's so lonely, dark, and dusty. You barely use it in the game outside of the opening, which is so perfectly reflected in how it looks. I actually like how lonely the dormitory feels in general. In a franchise defined by its tightly knit teenage friend groups who alone can save the world, this one is the most teenage and the most alone. Aside from the chairman, who is only occasionally present, it is nothing but teenagers here, and as a result, they only do things that teenagers would choose to do. They sit around wasting time on their phone and eat food that's bad for them. I love the teenage wasteland this story takes place in, and no other Persona game has quite been able to recreate that feeling. This is completely ridiculous, but for that reason, I think it's kind of a shame they got rid of the shoes on top of the lockers at the entrance of the high school. The new lighting in this location does look beautiful, with the cherry blossom leaves casting shadows on the walls. But I missed the shoes! It's a teenager's world, it's a mess, it fits. I'm also a huge fan of how the light looks in the original. Fake lights and fake shadows painted onto the walls that you often see in older games is just endlessly charming to me, and this game is filled to the brim with it. I think it looks the best in the school, where almost every window has some kind of fake light pouring through it. They make great use of it in cutscenes as well. I love the rainbow effect you often see. It's just a great looking game, and it's wonderfully translated to the remake, which makes everything look a lot more glowy and mysterious. The revamped look of Tartarus is also fantastic. It's just a great interpretation. As a true Persona fan, I also had a lot of fun comparing the menus, and while I generally prefer the older ones, the new main menu is just... Oh my god. Yeah, no, this is the best menu I've ever seen. The loading screen's a clock. I think the remake makes a lot of smart choices and changes, like opening on the midnight hour. That super creepy cutscene from the original, you actually get to walk around in that now. It's so cool. The first confrontation with a shadow on the rooftop of the dormitory is also fantastically translated to 3D. It looks so good, and the shadow actually feels big and dangerous now. I never thought I'd say an in-engine 3D cutscene would look better than a 2D animated one, but in this case it's true. There are some that don't work as well too. I think some of the stylishness of the original has been lost, but it mostly makes great decisions. I do really miss the abrupt audio editing of the originals though. When I heard that as a teenager who had only just discovered he really enjoyed being creative, it really opened my eyes. It taught me how malleable the world can be if you use audio and visuals in a cool way, and I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah, I'm at the station right now.
I should also mention the PlayStation Portable port, which I think is charming. I really enjoyed the map-like overview you get of all the locations, but I do miss all the little animations and interactions you don't get to see because of this format. The Tartarus sections, which are in 3D, do have some of that compromised softness I was talking about in my handheld video, and I really enjoyed those parts. There's some fun cutscenes where you can see 3D models clearly being plastered over pre-rendered backgrounds, and I do love that type of stuff. but overall it's my least preferred version of the game. The world of Persona 3 is one I love being in, and this version doesn't really make me feel like I'm in it, which is a shame. I just really like this game, if you couldn't tell. I've always felt that as far as modern Persona games go, it's a bit underappreciated, so I'm really happy to see it getting all this attention. The original PlayStation 2 version is like my favorite thing on the planet, like I'm really crazy about it. Like as an example, there's this fish mascot that's at the police station who I really like, and when I got there in the remake, he wasn't there and I was genuinely sad not to see him. But then the police officer tells you to meet him in the back where he can sell you weapons, and there he is! He's on the shelf! I'm so happy! The remake was never going to replace the original since I feel so strongly about it, but it is really great. And if you like it, you should probably try the original as well, because every version of this game is worth a try. Also, it's really funny when you go in the mall, you walk up to the door and the music stops and you're just like, yeah, me too, buddy.